This is That One Audition with Alicia Oxy.
Since you've listened to some of these, I kind of like venturing to the beginning and seeing where people originate it from before they land here.
Yeah,
I like testing the internet. Let's see if the internet is actually real or not. Were you a barber before
I,
you
I
started working?
I was a barber. I've been a few things, but yes, one of them was a barber.
What are the other few things that you dabbled in?
My God, I was in marketing and advertising. I organized street teams. What else did I do? I was a private trainer, a bartender. I feel like I had just about every job you can have. I did loans for mortgages. It
I
was,
just talked to somebody, and that's what they did for 3 years. Do you know David Lim on SWAT?
I don't know him personally, but yeah.
He did personal loans for 3 years. And he was like, that's what he attributes to dealing with rejection, where he was like, I would get rejected all day on the phone. So then being an actor was no big deal, where it's no, you don't want me. Okay, cool. I'm just going to make another call and see who does.
Right, exactly. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye. All
Okay,
right,
thank you.
move
Bye. No
on.
problem. Oh, wait, you hung up? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then where does the transition happen? Because you were in some of my favorite shows, Mustafa, and we've almost worked together a couple times.
Oh,
You
wow.
didn't know this. As I'm researching you, I'm like, oh, I almost got that. That would have been fun.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Um, but you've made a splash in, look, I always talk about this. You just need a handful of casting directors to be fans of yours to make a career. And you've got Avi Kaufman, Lorraine Mayfield, Alexa Fogel, who I love and adore. You've got some of the greats out of New York. You're still in New York, right?
I never really left. I still have my place. I was in California too, but that stopped in 2021. And I live in the Netherlands most of the time when I'm not working right now.
Is that a new place?
That's the last 4 years, going on 4 years now. I live in Rotterdam. But yeah, I'm in Harlem right now.
Okay.
You
So New
know,
York, yeah, because you were born in North Carolina. You're East Coast through and through. You've been East Coast your whole life.
yeah, I did a good stint in Cali though.
You did do a good stint. Okay, tell me how you all of a sudden get plucked off the streets and you start working, or was this always the goal was acting and you were just doing all these fun supplemental jobs until you could figure out how to break in, like we were all trying to do?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I was doing all that while I was trying to break in, but I'm an accidental actor, man. I backed into
Come
it.
on. Tell me how it was accidental. I want to
Yeah,
hear.
because I was going to school. I was in Cornell. I was on my way to do international banking and law. But I had some electives where I was doing English and writing poems and reading them. And so I had this dichotomy, like in the morning I'm listening to microeconomics and my soul is withering away, and then I'd go to these English courses and work on poetry and I'd come alive. And I was like, oh my God, something's happening here. So when I went home in the summer, I told my mom just this is what my experience was, and she was like, "I'm going to take you down. We can go to Negro Ensemble Company, which is a theater company at the time." And she said, "Go in there and see what happens." So we scheduled to go down to a writer's workshop, which is what I was mostly interested in. And when we got there, it turned out to be an acting and scene workshop. But I had already snuggled in the back. It's a bunch of folding chairs, so I'm sitting back there, everybody's piling in. I didn't know what format to expect, but then all of a sudden when the class began, it was a monologue, and I was like, oh my God. But I was enthralled the entire time until the guy heading the class, Chuck Patterson, he says, "Hey, young, what are you here to do?" And I was like, "I came to write, and my mom was with me, and she says, just go up there and read a poem." So I went up there and I read a poem that I had written. And they were all floored, and they said, "You should get this monologue from this play and come on back." And I was like, okay. And so I went on back, and then one thing led to the other. I got like plays out of that place. I got my first television audition through she was the creative director there, Carol Conn White, who I barely knew. I think I just said hi to her in passing when I was going into my workshops, but she gave my name to Jeff Block, who was the casting director of New York Undercover at the time. And he called me at the barbershop, funny enough. And so that's how I said I'm accidental. I didn't really plan on doing it. But the thing was, I had always been interested in it. I had saw shows on TV and I was like, this is so compelling. And there were a few moments that I like touched my foot in it, but at the time it didn't seem like something I could do. Like that there was like a road for me. Yeah, not on roads for like people who look like me. So I was like, nah, you can't really do that. So I talked myself out of it, but it came back around in its own right.
And then the industry totally accepted you in a completely different way than you probably were able to even see yourself. Some of these roles, Mustafa, come on. I want to get into the nitty-gritty and talk shop. So you basically you do this, you start doing plays and start doing monologues here at this studio, and from there you spider vein out to different things. So I'm curious, like you've worked, can I say it's been close to 30 years from your first credit.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I love doing this. Sometimes I wish that the person that was sitting in the seat where I'm interviewing, that you would go back and do the micro, like watch how things stack. Because it's such a joy as an actor to watch somebody else's be like, wow, do they even know that they've been doing this for 30 years? And that the mountaintops that you've been able to hit and the places and spaces in between as artists. So I want to talk shop. If I say like that one audition in 30 years, which one comes to mind? Because there's so many I want to ask about.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I would have to say for Bushmaster, Luke Cage.
For Luke Cage. Yeah, okay. This is one I wanted to ask about because I just want to set the audience up. Season 2. So a Marvel show, season 2, they usually give dummy sides. Were you given dummy sides or were you given sides?
No, dummy sides. Yeah, same.
Okay, can you walk me through this process? Because I think every actor, when they get dummy sides, I just was coaching somebody the other day, and they're like, but should I play like I know the character that they want it to be? Or do I just play the given circumstances here on the page? And I think it's really invaluable to hear from people that work when you're given dummy sides and the universe, especially because Luke Cage was out at that point too, when you were going into audition for season 2, right? So you totally know what's going on. You can research and get a little bit of the world. So what did you do? How did you approach this audition? To be
honest, I approached it just like another guy. I didn't play into any information. In fact, I didn't try to research it. I didn't.
You didn't. So you just played exactly what was on the page. Do you remember your sides?
Yeah. He was supposed to be a businessman who arrives in town, and his driver, who he's just meeting for the first time, he gives him this impromptu test to see if he's on the level, and then he's like recruiting him. He's going to be part of his gang, and like he's recruiting him to go and get some things, to do stuff, and so that's it. And I'm like, yeah, circumstantially, this could happen anywhere, and these things. So I played it pretty straightforward, and I think it was a good strategy.
Lorray liked it because this is back in 2017, 2018. It came out in 2018. So were you auditioning probably 2017? Are you going in the room with Lorray?
No, it was tape, off of tape.
It was tape.
Yeah, this is a rich story though.
I want to hear it. Just give it to us. That's what the show is, Mustafa. Give us all the details.
This is like after a huge heartbreak from season 1 because they wanted me.
They wanted you for season 1?
They wanted me for season 1, but I couldn't do it because I was under contract with another show.
For Quarry at that time?
Exactly. And it was like, there was no way of knowing what was going to happen. And HBO and Netflix weren't playing nice together. So they were like not trying to support or help. And so I missed out. Like they were like, no, we want you, bring him in now. And so it was to the point that my team, they didn't tell me about it for a week, just so they were like trying to figure it out. And they didn't want to get in my head. And then, they had to lay that on me. And I was just like, oh. And so, and for me, I'm like being in the Marvel universe, aside from all of the status that it gets you in the game, I read these comic books and these are people like, this is a part of the fabric of who I am. So for these two roads to converge was like super important for me. So it was a major disappointment. And so I had to process that and all the accompanying feelings that come with that.
Did you actually audition, or they were just trying to get you to come into audition for season?
I auditioned.
You did audition, and they chose you. Are you allowed to say which part from season?
At this point, I think so. I think it was Diamondback.
So then you're the choice.
I'm sorry if that, but anyway, No,
It's
I'm
part of
just
the
like,
industry. Yeah.
yeah, it's how it happened. Yeah. So that was it.
So then when they called for season two,
They
you
were
just had to
like,
make a tape. And what'd they say?
they said,
Corey's done.
it was like, is he free? I think it was like 3 times they asked, is he free for real? But yeah, I sent them the tape and I played it. You know what? It's like I tricked myself. I forgot that these were code, like it was code switching involved, and I was just like playing a guy. You know what I mean? In my mind, he was just exactly who was going to be on the show. But it turns out that he was somebody completely different. And that was super cool. It was like super cool experience to have that.
Yes, and then you get awarded. Like people like you were meant to play Bushmaster because I always just think what's for you finds you, no
Yeah.
matter how many hurdles you have to go through. But it's really interesting when you're sitting season one, we don't know if Corey's going or what's happening with Corey, and then it goes away. It's hard to tell an actor in that space, don't worry, it's going to come fall back. When we connect the dots together, of course, it's a great story. But in the moment, it's really hard when you're working so hard to get a foot in or have some relevancy. I always talk about the difference between development and relevant. Development, you're learning something. Relevant, you've just mastered it, right? You're working in the HBO world. You do the night of, you do Corey. Okay, great. This is going great. To step into the Marvel world is another brick laying in your house. So
Hmm.
to not be able to do that sometimes feels like, okay, is that it? I'm getting all this momentum. Where is it going to go? So it's nice to know that it can come full circle back later. That's part of why I think this show exists and does so well is that actors want something to hold on to in those moments when it doesn't all work out, right? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
so okay, I want to back up a little bit further. And did you do the night of before Quarry?
Yes.
I loved that show. The night of, I think, besides True Detective, really did break some television rules, ideas. I watched it 3 times. I want to know your audition process for this because we don't have much to go on, right? You don't have anything else to judge it up against, or like you don't have a season that's out. I would love to know how you approach that audition. Anything tangible besides reading the script? Because I want to understand your process of breaking down character or getting into a scene because your work in that is just, it's riveting. You just lean in. I can
Wow.
see.
That's awesome. Thank you. It, I don't have one process. The process is completely new each time. It has to be, I feel that's a conscious decision, but I also feel like that conscious decision came out of me, what naturally felt natural to me. So each moment is different. For that particular piece, it was funny because like I auditioned for Freddie. Yeah, I did. I did. So they
Ready
played a little
first?
bit of
And are you
like,
going in the room because this is 2015,
yeah,
2016?
no, this is still tape. I'm in California. I sent in the tape for it. They loved it, but obviously Michael K is that's a yeah. If you got that piece, you're gonna put that in that place. But they were like trying to find a place for me, and then I wound up. And
But
so
for that audition, so if you were auditioning for Freddie, was he in episode one? I'm trying to remember. Was he in the pilot? Does he start the series or he's a few episodes later?
if he it is wow, I don't know exactly.
I don't remember
I
either.
don't remember, and I watched it a few times like yourself, but I think he's maybe at the end of the first or the second.
Hmm.
Episode. As soon as the world turns for Nas, then he's like there in the beginning of that. But yeah, so I was shifting gears in that, and with Vic at that point, I just wanted to like make him sleazy and just like yes, a scum on the wall kind of individual who's like a second in command, and it was simple as that at that point.
But as far as when you auditioned for Freddie, even though we know Michael got it, that's your initial audition that obviously makes Avi Kaufman and HBO be like, whoa, okay, we want to see something different. And I know it's different for every audition. I do something different all the time too. But I was just curious for a mini series. You can only do so much research on who's involved. Even Riz is like a totally discovered actor in that moment. We don't know who's playing that person. How did you approach that? And if you don't want to use this one, I'd love to hear any other ones, like how you get into the script analysis, how you start getting into what you're going to do with this character.
Yeah, a lot of it is intuitive, is what I think is subtextually what I'm saying. Is like I stare at the words, that's cool. I say them, I get them in my mouth. I can do it backwards and forwards, and then that's cool. But it's just all prep for this moment that I can't define until I'm in it. And so the moments usually define what is going to happen, like energetically. Obviously, it's a marriage between that, the words, and all of that. But like a lot of times, I try to surrender to the moment that's happening and just be honest in my response within the context of the writer's world that they've created, and just move us from this beat to this beat, and not put any other frills on it. Just this is what moves through me. Let that be, and yeah, move on, pretty much.
And then this was before the time of self-taping being the norm, right? Even though you were in LA, you're sending the tape to New York. Did you enjoy that process? Do you enjoy making tapes,
I
self-tapes?
enjoy self-tapes 100% more than going in the room.
Me too. Okay. So doing tapes like something like this, after you've done the script analysis, are you somebody that's trying to shoot in a different kind of way or not shoot in a studio? Are you enjoying taking the directorial place of understanding how to show what you're able to do on screen? You know what I'm saying? Like we can really work the frame. You've been working at that point before you did the night of, hopping around from guest stars and little stints here. I'm curious if you did anything more for that tape or how you approach your tapes.
Yeah, I love it because it's like a little production, right? And I love the feeling of going from the words to setting up the lights to going through that whole process to editing it into this little package, a little movie. And so it's fun to me. And so I play around with it, and there's a sense of just openness that you don't get when you're in the room. In a sense, you can just keep going, and you don't have to worry about if anybody's checking for you. And so that just makes it more pleasurable for me in terms of like really massaging out what I want this character to communicate and express.
Okay. So after you do the night of, is Quarry pretty quickly thereafter? Because now you're in the HBO world, right? They see what you're doing, they like what you're doing. I would love to know the bridge from the night of. Is it once it comes out that you're allowed more great, responsible parts that are coming your way? Or is it once you were already shooting it that HBO threw something else at you?
No, they felt far apart. I think by the time I even got into the process of Poiré, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm a part of the HBO family. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I do.
there was space in there, so it felt fresh. But I did have a champion over at HBO, and the people were checking for me. But I really found that out after Quarry, not even in between Night of and Quarry, because that led to me doing Jet with Carla Gugino, and I think a couple other things were on the deck.
So
The
I think
Dukes, obviously,
the Deuce, exactly. That's why I'm like, it
especially.
seems when I'm looking at it, it's, oh, he does the night of, and HBO's Mustafa, welcome. Now we've got this one, and now we've got this one, now we've got this one. I'm curious about your approach also to Quarry, because Michael Fuller wrote this great script, great world. Did you approach that the same way? You're in season one. Yeah, you weren't in episode one, but you're in the rest, right?
Yeah, and
You were
Quarry,
all of them.
yeah.
So between the night of and Quarry, as an actor, I think you did a couple of things here and there. What are you doing on your downtime waiting for that next great project to come in? Because if I'm looking at your resume, I'm thinking that you're saying no to a lot of things and you're waiting for the gold nuggets, which would be
Yeah.
the night of, which would be the Deuce, which would be Quarry, which are these great cinematic television. But I'm wondering if that's actually the case as an actor.
No, I think I'm just fortunate to get good projects. I've said no to some things, but I'm not saying no to a lot of things. And yeah, I think I'm actually fortunate. When I look back, I'm like, wow, I got to play some cool stuff. Happy that I stuck it out because it was not easy.
That's what I would love to know. So between the night of comes out, and I'm sure people are like, wow, what a piece of
Yeah.
Magic. I'll give you I did the first season of True Detective. Before it came out, nobody knew what it was. And everybody's like, I don't know if you should do that, whatever. Then it comes out. And then people are like, oh, wow. And then opportunity came from that. My girlfriends that got hired for season 2 of True Detective, before they even shot it, had another job thereafter because they knew what it was. You've been a part, what I'm trying to get at is you've been a part of incredible shows that don't have a season 1, right? So you're like, I don't know what this night of is going to be. Great
Yeah.
people involved, but I don't know tonally what it's going to look like. I don't know how the world is going to be really set up. So I'm going to go with my instincts. Same thing with Corey. Michael's an incredible writer, but we didn't have anything before Corey from Michael. Like, I know Mike. And that's what I'm trying to get at is one, what are you doing in that intermediate stage as an actor? One, to stay working, and two, to stay fresh for these cool ideas. I don't even know if you can call them cool ideas. They break the mold of kind of television, right? And then here comes another great one. Or if you treat them all the same, where it's okay, this is an audition for whatever. This is, I don't know what this is. I'm just going to do my thing and throw it out there. So that's what I was curious about when Corey came through, if there was connective tissue already to somebody from HBO that was like, Mustafa would be great in this world. Or if it was like, you're just one of the other actors that's coming back up. And like you said, thereafter, Jet becomes a little bit, they're looking out for you now. You've got 2 shows on HBO that are well received. Oh, wait, Corey, was that Cinemax?
Cinemax, but it's the HBO family.
It's HBO
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm curious about. That's what I was trying to get to is, yeah, here comes Corey. How do you approach this audition or this world?
Yeah, I've got to get better at talking about my process because it is truly like it comes to me. Like I'm walking, I'm like, okay, this guy's name is what? His name is Moses. He plays bass. And all of these like little bits engage parts of my subconscious mind and they like just offer me up a conglomeration of whatever these impressions have caused. And then like this person comes out. It's like a weird
Yes.
biomechanical computer. I'm like, okay, here's these bits of information, and then I press the blender button, and then something happens. It clicks, and it'll be a voice. It'll be different, and I don't know exactly how that happens, to be honest. But it happens each time, so differently, but nonetheless, each time in that way.
That's such a great artist way of talking about it. Now I'm going to take it into television. For the night of, it was the same director, all episodes, wasn't it?
Zalian, yeah.
Yeah, Zane Steve the whole time. For Corey, was it the same director for all episodes as well?
Yes, Greg.
And okay, so now for the Deuce, it's not the same director for all episodes, is it?
No.
Okay. What I love about television, right? You get hired to do this incredible job, and then you get guest directors that are constantly coming in that might be like, Mustafa, we like that voice, but can you not do it for this episode? And you have to almost protect the sanctity of the character that you've created or how you communicate with the new director that's guesting. So the night of and Quarry, you're good. Everybody knows what everybody's doing. So for the Deuce, because you come in episode 3,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Season
it.
1, and you're there, Big Mike, all along. From what you created for Big Mike for the audition into what we see thereafter, how much of that was manipulated or worked on from week to week? Because television, a lot of actors that aren't at that place yet don't realize you're not getting all scripts. The night of and Corey, you might have gotten all the scripts. The Deuce, I'm assuming you're not getting all scripts.
No, what did I? No, I didn't. No, you're right. You're right. No, I didn't.
So we're going week to week, coming up with different ideas. And if it's your instincts that you're following after, how are you able to make a character arc through a whole season? So I want to talk about that part of that. Probably The Deuce is the best example, if not Luke Cage, how you're able to maintain what you're creating or how you use osmosis to like what the writers are giving you. And you're like, oh, I actually had my father was dead. Oh, guess what? Episode 6, here comes my dad. You've created some backstory. You've created some texture to a character that every week you're getting new information about.
Yeah, I just think quick on my feet. It's never been an issue. I have never really run into any sort of creative situation where a director or anybody's, hey, can you try it another way? The same way I trust myself, I've been trusted. So it's a non-issue in that way. And I think, again, it's just like each moment that comes up, no matter if it's new or even a tangent, just be honest in that, be honest to it. There's a certain honesty and empathy with what's happening in the moment that I feel like if you do that, then your job is done. Or at least that's how I feel.
The TV and film landscape, it's constantly changing, but traditional actor training has largely remained the same.
It's focused on a theater model whose main goal is to help you stretch the expression of your instrument. That's why you can have years of training,
From scene study classes to audition classes.
to even an MFA, and still not be able to book a 2-line co-star.
That's why we created the Bridge for Actors.
A collection of tech, craft, and business online courses to teach you the skills that you need to go from a student of acting
To a working actor.
What do you think's been the most surprising thing for you as an actor that's now getting to work on multiple different sets? Whether it's the business, the craft, that kid in that doing the monologue for the first time wouldn't have known. Like when I was little, I wanted to be in the TV. I didn't know what that really meant. I didn't know what the actual job meant. So now going from show to show, what is it that you're learning or understanding about the business that's making the career easier for you? Or just more knowledge?
I think that's a major one.
Yep.
You have to know it through and through, embody to the bone, gristle, and beyond. And so if you have that as the marquee in consciousness, then you're pretty set to have an adventure. You should see it as an adventure. And also, like, most of your experience is going to it's an outpicturing of what's going on inside. So if you want to see whatever you want to change out there, change it internally. Make the shift internally. And I feel like it's one of the greatest mirrors for internal wellness ever.
I love that. Go a step further. If you can be a little bit more tangible about that. If you want something exteriorly, let's say that somebody is listening to this and they want to start working on more reputable shows, or they want to start having the privilege of being a recur or going up to the next place in their career. What are you speaking of? Like, what internally needs to change so the exterior matches?
You have to see yourself there. You've got to know it already. You've got to feel it in every fiber of your being. And that's the only way. If you keep seeing it as over there, up there, across, something to attain, then you'll stay in that vibratory loop. But if you feel yourself, see yourself, visualize, and that's the way through, the way in.
I love that. I just wanted to see what you tangibly what it would be. Okay, I have to ask because I auditioned for this too, and what a beautiful film this is. And I don't know how much you're allowed to talk about it, but Song Sun Blue.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk about your audition for this? Mine was very unique, and I'm curious if yours, what part, if you're even allowed to talk about it. You've already shot it?
Yeah, it's on IMDb, so I think we're cool. Yeah, I play Sex Machine, and he's a James Brown impersonator. It was so cool. It's so much fun.
Just to catch the audience up, it's Kate Hudson, it's Hugh Jackman. Who else is in here?
Michael
Jim
Imperioli.
Belushi. Who else did you say?
Michael Imperioli.
Yes. And it's based on a true story about...
Yeah.
Yeah, will you tell everybody just to catch them up? Because what an incredible script. What an incredible people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just say it like that,
Yeah,
right?
and incredible people. Yes. No, 100%. Song Sung Blue is about a cover band, they were a husband and wife. And it's a Neil Diamond impersonation band. And they hit all of those cinematic level highs and lows in life while they were doing it. And it definitely justifies having a movie being made about them.
I thought some of that stuff had to have been made up or
And it
exaggerated.
wasn't.
I know. That's why when I saw that you were doing this movie, I was like, oh God, I definitely want to talk to you about the making of it. Because
Yeah.
is your character is Sex Machine based on a real person?
Yeah, it was like yeah. Everybody in the actual film is based in the reality of this couple.
Were you able to talk to him or did you just research as far as somebody who works off of instinct and reading something? Did you read this, know what you wanted to do, or did you go and do some of the research? Because I did, and I got sucked in. I was like 6 hours in later watching all of the footage about all of them. It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. I did more researching after the fact. It was just pitched to me as super fun, supporting, and I was just like, I saw it and I just had fun with it. He gets to do some sing song, wailing, some chanting, and I just was like, I don't get to do this that often or ever really. And so, yeah, I just went in, and it was a good read. It was a good read.
Did you go in person for this one?
No, I didn't.
You also made a tape as well.
Yeah, I did.
And did you have to sing? Did you have to do, was there actual scripted stuff for you as well as the singing portion? Or were they kind
Yeah,
of
there's some talking. Like there's a scene between me and Hugh's character who plays Mike in the film, and so, yeah, that's he and I'm his right hand man in the film, and yeah, we talk in the scene, and then another one I'm introducing their band, so it's in that, you know what I'm saying, level of rah rah. And it's just so much fun. I'm like, oh my God. And I got the James Brown wig on, full, like the outfits. After they saw, I think they just said, oh, we got a muse now, because they were like making me go to fitting after fitting. And they were making these amazing outfits for me. So I think it's going to be cool.
So you just leaned in because this is totally different than all the other things we've
Bushmaster.
really seen
Yeah.
you do. Yes, that's why I was so excited. In the research, I was like, I know who this guy is from the roles that you're playing, right? You get an idea of who people are or what their wheelhouse is. To see that movie on your resume, I was like, oh, hot damn, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is fun to do a flip and see. And that's why I was curious, the audition process for that. But again, instinct. So you just went for it. You weren't necessarily trying to impersonate, or were you actually trying to impersonate Sex Machine?
Like James Brown, like I just was like, I'm gonna perform like James Brown feels to me, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that to me is the impersonation of it. I'm not gonna try and get it right on, but I want to feel like he looks like he's feeling. And so that's what I did. And then if you're having fun,
That's what I always say. Yes,
know,
if you're having
yeah.
fun, we're having fun. If you're
Right.
bored as hell, I'm bored as hell. Like it's
Right.
the mirror neurons in our brains are very simple.
Boom, the vibe is contagious. Yes.
The vibe is totally contagious. Okay, so I want to do some rapid fire questions. And
Okay.
first, I want to start with working with Hugh Jackman. Like, I want to, especially for somebody who sings and dances, and that's his kind of career, and you have a film like this, what did you learn working with him?
Hugh is always on.
Always.
Yeah, like not in an annoying way. It's like in a way that is like an embodied showman, like for real. It's like, I was telling this person about this, and then blah, blah, blah. That's how he transitions between, if it says sing on the page, he's going to sing full out and then go back into the dialogue if we're doing a table read. And so I think that's amazing. I'm quite opposite. Like I hold all my cards on to the chest, and then I'm a ta-da guy. Even if we're rehearsing, I'm keeping it at just below boiling. But it to each his own. It takes all types. But with him, I love that about him. It warmed up the room and gave people permission to also be on. So I think that's always good in these settings.
Favorite co-star you've worked with other than Hugh? Because you've had some great ones.
Favorite co-star? Me and John Cho had a lot of fun.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun. We just would babble we go into 10 between takes and so shooting was very easy. And then because we had that rapport, like being in front of the camera is an old hat. So I think that really worked out for us socially and creatively.
I think so too. Okay. Since you are such an intuitive person, the way you approach characters, and then I'm sure you do a bunch of research before you step onto set, but what is your before set prep? Whether that's like you're going to set tomorrow morning or you're in your trailer waiting to go on location or on set, how do you prep the night before, the day of?
I'm always in a ongoing prep in the sense that I'm always taking care of the body, the mind, the spirit, so that I'm always ready. Like stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And then when it comes showtime, for me, I feel you stay hydrated, stretch, because fundamentally those things are just so that I'm centered. And whatever is thrown at me, that I can be dynamic in how I react to it. And so whatever is necessary, I'll do to stay in that zone. But other than that, I really try to empty my mind of all my preconceived notions about what's supposed to happen.
Okay. Tell me how you do that. Because as an actor, I think that there's a lot of analytical work, there's ideas, like working through instincts. And then what is your process then to show up and let it all go? I think that's the hardest thing sometimes for actors is to let their plan go.
Yeah, that's why I always keep it loose, because I've seen almost every time it just goes differently than what I had conceived in my mind. And I think that's true for life, but that's a whole other story. But what I do is before I go on, I have all that brainstorming. I think about it up, down, sideways, and then I get a good understanding of what my process is. And then I let it go because it's like this. I think it's better. It's like dance steps. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're thinking it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the dance doesn't get good until you stop counting.
Yes.
And you become the 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's, So after I've done the 1, 2, 3, 4 a certain amount of times, I know it's in my body. And how I do that 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be determined by all these other factors that happen when I show up on set. So I make sure I'm solid on the left brain stuff, and then I go and do my right brain stuff in front of the camera.
Yes. What are you doing between jobs? Now that you're not having to do this job, that job, barber, selling loans, doing whatever, sometimes there could be space before sets.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing between while you're waiting for the next job?
I write and I do music. I'm a consummate hip hop artist. I'm always working on stuff. I love working on it more than I love putting it out, I found. But
really?
There's stuff, the process makes me happy. It like literally brings me joy to sit and conceive or construct these words and flows and then do them and marry the beat and then sit back and just go, oh, that's cool. like that's the cream. Everything after that is a job. I do that. I train. I'm physically, I love like training, pushing myself, the boundaries, the limits, sharpening the mind, making sure that I'm always fighting with limits, which I think is great as an artist, because the freer you are as an artist, the greater your art is. So I feel like there's a correlation.
I agree. Favorite actor you've learned from? John was fun. You guys could snap about. Hugh's great. Is there somebody that you've really been able to witness on set that you've learned from, or even just watching?
Vince Vaughn, I learned, but he also validated my process. Like, he's that way.
Tell me more.
He's like, when it's time to go, it's brand new. Like, we have all these plans, but once they go action, whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? And so and you get that sense of immediacy from him. He's looking for that thing that's going to throw us off a little bit, or not even off, but I can't. Yeah. Surprise is a good word.
Surprise, the discovery.
Discovery, yes.
Yes.
And so
he's a mastermind at that, because if you don't stay up, because he changes it every time, because he wants to keep it fresh. I know why he's doing it. You can see what he's doing. I love working with people like that. It's terrifying too. I don't know. Script, fuck that. Okay, great. Here we are. We're here. They'll call cut eventually. So just sometimes I feel like I can see certain actors hanging on with Vince. They're hanging on for dear life. You can see in some, and then other people you can see that really sink into enjoying that connectivity, that discovery together.
Yeah, he's so immediate that it brings you into the moment. And we were doing all things, and he'd do something that was like not scripted, and instead of, I reacted to it naturally and it just elevated the scene. I was like, oh, that wasn't there. Had I been like, oh, that's not there, and just got in my head about it rather than just be in the moment with him, we could have lost a really good take.
So much goodness. It's always interesting to see what ends up on screen when you're working with people like that, people like Vince. It's fun then for me to go and watch because I'm like, I have no idea what they're going to end up. I have no idea what happened. Or you get surprised, right? You're like, I don't remember doing that. Was that from take two?
That's the thing, and that's what they say. If you remember what you did, it was probably shit or not your best. But if you can't remember, then you were not doing it. It was being done through you, and that's the stuff that we're looking for. And that's why I try to show it fresh and open every time.
That's the magic. But that's the magic that I feel like that's why I was so excited to talk to you, because that's what I see in so much of your work where I'm like, that's not how I would have imagined somebody getting those sets of sides playing that. Do you know? That's and that you're like playing music the whole time. Obviously, your musical background is jazz. I love jazz just because we're all learning to play together. We're playing a song together. We're not
Nice
playing at each
connection.
other.
I like that, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I love this one. Most memorable first day experience. Which set was it and why?
I'm gonna go Cowboy Bebop this time because they took us on a tour before we went to set, and they're like, oh yeah, you haven't, and they took us in all these rooms, and it literally felt like we were at the Pentagon. It was that level. It was like blueprints and things that were half constructed, and it was just like a workshop that like these people had been in there for 10 years scribbling on the walls and writing equations. It was that level of commitment in there. You could feel it. And the guy was explaining something, and he was like, yeah, the distance between the stargates here is actually the calculations from Venus to such and such. And it was like the level of nerding out. I loved it so much. It was a great entrance into that role. Like they put so much love, so much care into crafting it. That translated. And so that was a cool day.
It does translate. It's interesting when you go from one show that will give you the Bible for the whole show and the whole idea of this conceptual idea of what this character is or what's happening. And then other shows you get hired and you're like, nobody needs to talk to me. Okay, first day. I'm just gonna, here we are. And especially if it's an offer too, then you're like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna do. Okay, here we go.
Right.
Okay. Who do you call first when you get an audition? When you get an audition?
I don't call anyone.
You don't call anybody? Are you able to, do you tape it all yourself?
Yeah.
Do you have anybody read with you?
Rarely. I tape the other person.
You do? Oh,
Yeah.
does this work for you? Obviously, you're booking a bunch, so it seems to be working just fine. So
it's
for the night of Inquiry, did you tape the other person's sides?
No, not for the night of Inquiry. I didn't. When did I really start doing this all the time? I'm not quite sure, but...
Okay, I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Definitely the Luke Cage one. That was self-tape.
That one was? Which one?
Like Luke Cage.
Luke Cage was that?
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody who likes to discover in the moment, what's your trick then if you're recording yourself as the other character or yourself as the reader? How are you as Mustafa on screen able to find your discovery points? Because maybe this is the trick.
That's a good question. Yeah. I leave a lot of space. I leave more space than between my dialogue and the other. So I just leave extra space, and I'll play around in there, and then I'll massage it to where I got this rough mold, and I've worked out the bugs, and then I'll re-record it. And that's also just one of the things. After a while, it's like you've done your discovery. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Take this thing.
Now you're acting the discovery.
And yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You're like, I figured this out. Sometimes I always say twice as much on the other person's lines as your lines. I think a lot of actors skip over the other person. So if you're actually doing the reading part, it's amazing because you're spending so much time on the other person as well. If you and I were reading for something right now and you were the one auditioning, I'd have it memorized in 2 seconds because I'm not in the pressure seat and I'm looking at everything, right? And I'm noticing patterns of behavior. I notice things. When you flip and I'm in the pressure seat, if I don't take as much time on the other person, I'm falling apart. Like I watch so many actors fall apart by not paying attention to the full scene at hand, to the other person. And that's why sometimes I think that can be a trap. If I've seen actors do that where they read into their thing and they're not discovering anything. But I think it definitely can help because you're spending as much time as you can on the other person as well. And you're seeing patterns of behavior for your character. So you know what to respond to. You have a point of view about what the other person's saying. So many actors drop out of their point of view. You can see them acting, listening. Whereas that other person's talking, I don't feel anything. I don't,
Right.
it's just experience. So I was so curious about that. Okay. What do you do to celebrate?
What do I do to celebrate? A lot of different things, but mostly relax.
Mustafa, you're the first person who said that, and I feel like I breathe finally when I get, because I'm anxiously looking at that phone, being like, did I miss that call from my whole team? Did they call, right? It's my phone service is working, right? So then when they finally call, regardless of what the news is, I feel like I can breathe. That's beautiful. I love that. Okay, so this is when your whole team does call. Are you the person that instinctively knows you got the job? Or are you the person that thinks, oh, fuck, they're firing me?
I rarely feel like they're firing me. Ever. No. Yeah, it's mostly just job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Job to
When they're all
expect
like,
something
hey,
to-
we're all here. You're like, ah.
Yeah. But I still brace a little. I'm like, what does this mean? Is this a deal or something? Or yeah, but we're working.
This is the hardest question, Mustafa. I really need to know when you're at craft services, what you grabbing?
It's mostly fruit, water, and tea for me.
Fruit, water, and tea. There you go.
Yeah, what you
Your body
consume
moving.
affects your mood. You got to be careful on set.
Okay, final one. Best rap present that you either received or given.
I gave the director of a show a miniature tree. I felt they were very pivotal in pouring into me. And so I was like, let this tree symbolize our continued friendship being growing. So.
And have you worked with them again? Have you gotten?
Not directly, but definitely indirectly, for sure.
That's beautiful. Okay, so then what's next? You seem to be the guy that wants something that comes really easy, or like you're doing this and then this happens. Have you written a script? Is that something that you're interested in doing? What is your next thing that you're excited to do? And
yeah, like I have written scripts. I love writing. I wrote a script, a short, and I directed it. And it was so much work.
it's so much work.
I was like, I don't want to do this. It sounds like a great idea, but I was like, I'm still in my performer, get it out and then not be concerned with it phase. But the process of creating shows and projects, it's a lot of work. I shied away from it a bit, but I do have some scripts in the clip, and I think I'm actually coming up on that place where I feel like I need to start thinking of creating vehicles for myself. Because you have to be more intentional, or you should be more intentional in carving out the career you want, and that's one way of doing it. And so in today's market too, it's like it's wide open for that. There's so many platforms and places to put things, so content is king right now.
I tell my daughter, if you can write, you can do anything. You truly can. You can do anything. If the basis of writing, you having that basis of writing, look how much that served you in your work. Even I would even gather to say as an actor, you continually saying, I just go off my instincts when I read it. You constantly writing and being a wordsmith and playing with words, your instincts, your 10,000 hours on script analysis, on words is already so rich. Like you just look at things a little differently. It's hard for us to get inside your brain. You've just been doing that for probably decades, years since you were a kid.
Yeah.
It touches you differently. As other people trying to put something on, the words just spill out of you.
Yeah, they speak to me in a way. Yeah.
They speak to you. It's been such a beautiful walk through your career in the last few days, getting to watch some of my favorite shows. Thanks for letting me dig in a little bit. Thanks for the work that you put out there and continue to do so. So where can everybody follow along? What would you want people to go and watch right now?
Go watch Love Hurts. It's fun. It's a little firecracker. We got Ki Hoon Kwan and Ariana DeBose. What is it? It's a rock'em sock'em love, bang bang sort of comedy, dramedy kind of deal. But it's fun. Yeah.
And then they don't have a date yet for Sun Blue. I'm going to put a prediction on that. It's going to be a November release because they're going to try and push for the Oscars. You know they are. So I can't wait to see you there. That's going to be great. That's what I'm predicting your future. There you go.
I love it. I'm like, go ahead, Cristobal, talk that talk.
Yes, right? Let's just do that. That seems like the next step, right? You definitely need, that's an Oscar film, an Oscar film.
It is.
When I read that, I was like, oh, I know what they're doing here. How can you not? That story is so incredible. And then who directed that? I'm blanking right now. Great director.
Craig Brewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. There were moments on set, and I don't think I felt this yet. It was like, the energy was so high. Like when we were performing some of these musical numbers, it started high and it was high all day.
It never crashed. Like, you were waiting for the crash.
And it didn't happen. And I was like, wow, this is vibes. People were like, yeah, this is
high vibration.
Something special is happening here. So hopefully that translates on the screen. And
just come back when we can talk about the Oscar-nominated film that you were just part of. And we'll have some other things.
Talk about the prediction.
Yes, I would like to be that person now where they're like, which movies do you think, Alicia? Everybody wants to know. Mustafa, this was a joy. Thank you so much. Are you on social? Where can people follow along with you?
_Mustafa Shakir _ on all the platforms that matter.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.